Hi there, and welcome to the Lens Hoarder channel. No, don't worry, the thumbnail is solid, it's not clickbait. I will talk about the three cameras, but I think a very, very important decision in choosing between these three cameras is what lenses you have. What does your current lens portfolio look like? And obviously we're talking Nikon. All these three cameras are Nikon cameras. The 750 is the oldest one, it's a classic DSLR. The 780 came out as a response from Nikon to have an upgraded DSLR that has much of the new technology that you see in a mirrorless sort of plowed into it. So it's a much more modern camera, but it is also a much more expensive camera. And then finally you have the Z6, which is now also in a Mark II. That is a very good mirrorless camera. They have roughly the same sensor size, 24 megapixels. But the Z6 and the 780, they are much more modern cameras than the 750. On the other hand, the 750 budget-wise, I think that value for money-wise, you can't really beat that camera as I see it, speaking as a photographer, not a videographer. Let me talk a little bit about these lenses, why I have organized them like this, and why I think it's an important part of your decision when you're choosing between these three cameras. Over here I have the G series lenses. They have the motor built into the lens, so they sort of are an object of themselves. So they can focus without any help from the camera body. They are the latest and greatest when it comes to the F series, at least of these three groups. And they are probably also some of the most advanced with more coating and so on and so forth. They're also by far the most expensive, by the way. The lenses here, they also have autofocus. But they are more vintage lenses and they have autofocus in the sense that they have mechanical autofocus. And that means your camera body needs to have a motor built into it so that it taps into a little thing here. Normally it's called the screwdriver autofocus or mechanical autofocus. So basically the motor turns this little tab here. And what that does is it basically focuses mechanically the lens. The lens has no motor, it's in the camera body. Mind you that if you're in the market for a new camera body, the 3000 and the 5000 series from Nikon, I do not recommend those because there Nikon has not supplied a motor, and that means all this glass here is manual focus. So be aware of that. Over here I have also vintage glass, but this is manual focus. There's no mechanical autofocus here at all. Also wonderful glass. And all of this, if this side over here, you can buy this used on eBay, Amazon, on a flea market even, and you get crazy value for money, and that's why I have so many lenses. I absolutely love the fact that you can get a hold of such wonderful lenses. Still fantastic quality today. Maybe not the best coating that you have ever seen. And maybe some of them are not as sharp as you could wish for and all of that, and has a little bit of distortion, but you learn to love your lenses with all of these faults, especially when you look at the price and the value that you get for your money. You can't beat that over here, you know, forget it. I mean, this is the way to go. And if you are a shooter on a budget, you definitely want to stay on this side here and forget about the G series or even the Z mount lenses. This is where you need to be. So the reason why I focus on the lenses here is if you look at the three lenses that I mentioned in the thumbnail, the 750 and the 780, they are DSLRs and they have motors built into the camera body. And that means all of this here in the middle group will give you autofocus. Of course, manual focus will be manual focus no matter how many motors you put into your camera body. But this group here, the middle group here, where there's really much excellent glass out there you can get really cheap, that will work with the 750 and the 780. And this is actually the whole point with this video. When you move to the mirrorless, here I have the Z50 here, and I have the FTC adapter. When you move to mirrorless, you lose the autofocus capability of this middle group here, because there is no motor in the mirrorless series from Nikon, unfortunately. And this is really where I think one of the big decisions you have to make in terms of whether you want to go mirrorless or not is do I want to drop, if you provided of course you have a lot of autofocus glass, do I really want to drop my autofocus here? Of course, if you have a 750 and you go to the Z6, you can still use, all of this on both cameras, and you can use this on your 750. So it's not like the glass all of a sudden doesn't have any value, but you can't use this middle part glass here on the mirrorless series. If we look a little bit about the history of the 750 and 780 and the Z6, the Z6, I think, was Nikon's response to everybody else going mirrorless. So they had to come up with a mirrorless camera. And I think to a large extent, you can say that the Z6 and the 750, they are in the same league in terms of target audience and capabilities. Albeit the Z6 obviously is a more modern camera, but I think they have, the same target group was intended for these two cameras. The Z6 is a much more modern camera than the 750, but value-wise, I think you will find the 750 is difficult to beat. So the 750, along with autofocus glass, if you're on a budget, I think that is difficult to match. If, however, you find that the 750 technically is a little bit, behind your requirements, you miss maybe better ISO functionality, or you want better video capability, or whatever it is that shortcomings you see with the 750, then the 780 may be for you. Because what they did was, Nikon, they could see that out there was a lot of people struggling exactly with this question: should I go mirrorless or should I not? So they came up with the 780, which is sort of their attempt to help you, if I can say it like that, in that decision, because the 780 is basically taking all the Z6 technology, plowing that into a DSLR, but still maintaining the autofocus motor, the mirror and the relatively big and solid camera body that we know from DSLRs. And that's a way that you can get, if technically you can get to the latest and greatest and still maintain the ability to use your autofocus glass, right? If you want to go for the Z6, I think many are struggling to take the jump for, looking at all their wonderful glass, thinking, will I be using that in the future going forward? I think that mirrorless, you've probably seen this on other channels and other reviews, mirrorless has many advantages. Some of the things that I absolutely love, other than they can be completely silent, is that you have this focus peak highlights, where you can see whether your subject is sharp or not, and that's absolutely wonderful if you're shooting with manual lenses. And also the video capabilities of most mirrorless is way beyond anything you will find in a DSLR, simply because technically they are much more modern cameras and there's much more computing power. And you can also see that the Z6 Mark II, other than adding a card slot, they also added a CPU. So you will see more and more computing power, you will see more and more processing capability targeted at hybrid shooters and video especially. So if that's the way you're going, I think the Z6 could be for you relative to the other two DSLRs. That was my input. I know I haven't given you all the technical details and specs between these three cameras. Use the site called Camera Decision. Just Google Camera Decision and then the two cameras that you want to compare. Then it will come up with a nice detailed compare of these two cameras. And it's much better than what I can tell you here in a video. That would be super boring. But use that if you're really into comparing specs. But I think your lens collection is a vital part of your decision. So I hope you found this video useful. Thank you for watching. Take care. Bye-bye.